Alright, welcome back to another Battlefield video. This is currently take 3. I'm trying to record this because my freaking mic is messing up and I don't know why. But yeah, welcome back to another Battlefield video. We are going to be talking about my thoughts on the game as a returning player. To add context, I played the game from launch to like week 2 or week 3 of season 2. And I was really fed up with the game because I wasn't happy with the state of the game with constant recoil changes. Wasn't happy with the gameplay, not the gameplay, the vehicle gameplay and the air gameplay, and just was not having a good time. Took a few months off, came back literally this past week. As of recording this, it is currently Tuesday, and the gameplay you're seeing here was recorded Friday. And I'm gonna give you all my thoughts and feedback on how the game feels from someone who's taking a break. For those of you who don't know me, my name is AG Gaming. I have been a Battlefield veteran since Battlefield 3. Started recording Battlefield 4. Been playing every game since. And really passionate about the game. I love it. Have a lot of fun memories with it. And yeah, so we're going to be doing that. And then I'm going to talk about some topics that have been going on with the community. And then we're going to go, I'm going to give like a message to like the developers. I'm gonna keep that short and sweet, and then that's gonna be it. So yeah, to kind of start things off, like I said, I took a few months, 2 to 3 months off from the game. Coming back, I will tell you something, it feels really good to be back. It feels fun. I'm not gonna lie, it honestly feels like picking up Battlefield 4 again. I'm not even joking, I got that feeling back. I know a lot of you are familiar with this feeling where, like, let's say the game isn't doing so good, you go back to Battlefield 4, you have that, like, the smoothness, and you're like familiar with the game. I had to have that feeling with this game, and it took a while to get readjusted to the game, but once I got dialed in, it was super good. I've been having a blast. The netcode has improved a little bit, I can tell, because the game just does feel a lot smoother. The gunplay feels really good, man. I know a lot of people are complaining about TTK, which I will get on later on. I will talk about here later on. But the gunplay feels really good. Gunplay feels tight. Vehicle gameplay, I haven't been paying much attention to it because I just rather run around. But with the times I have gotten a vehicle, they do feel, I mean, the same. There's a lot of improvements they can do with vehicles. There's a lot of things I could suggest they can do, but I have a video on that. And air gameplay hasn't changed. I haven't noticed a change. I know they've nerfed the guns on the jets, but I don't notice it. I still knock people out. They need to do a lot to fix air. Honestly, I'm not one of the players who cares about air raid. I don't give a fuck, honestly. I can look around, because I'm used to playing Warzone. You have to look around, so I'm used to looking around for enemies and all that stuff. The only thing I hate about this game is that the moment someone gets behind you, it's over, you know. They need to do more in terms of like air gameplay. Let's say like adding like an energy momentum kind of thing, making it to where you can do actual maneuvers if you're like a turn fighter, boom and zoom and stuff. You don't have to get like hyper realistic about it, but there's definitely ways you can add skill to vehicle gameplay and air gameplay in general, and I want to see more of that. I think that's one of the things that put me off, because I just got tired of just the bugginess of flying in the air and stuff, because I'm also a pilot, you know. And all in all, like, my experience has been good. What brought me back into the game, honestly, and it kind of like, it was a seed that was just kind of like planted in there. It was a roadmap. Seeing the lineup for season 3, season 4, seeing the features that are coming in, things that they're working on. It's like, I have this, I got optimistic. I'm hopeful that they're gonna fix this game. I'm hoping by the time year 2 comes around, the gameplay is going to be really solid, and I feel like we're going to get a resurgence of players again, which is typical with like Battlefield games. I don't know why I always do this, but yeah, that's something that's going to happen, and I'm excited, man. Next season, we're getting Gomad Railway, we're getting Grand Bazaar. Season 4, we're getting Wake Island and another like oceanic map. I don't know what to say. I don't know what the proper term is, but we're getting a map like there's like islands and stuff. which hints that there's gonna be naval combat coming in with like carriers and stuff. So I'm super excited to see what they do with that. I'm hoping maybe they bring back carrier assaults. I'm curious to see how that would play in this game. I know that they're working on the server browser. They're gonna add persistent lobbies to the server browser. I'm hoping they add a team balancer, and I know in the trailer or something with the roadmap or something like that regarding the future seasons and stuff, there was a tease of a Hornet. So I'm hoping they are working really hard on improving the air gameplay, because air gameplay, what's holding it back, man, is really just there's no customization, there's no loadouts. You need to be able to like adjust how you want to play. You know, there needs to be different cannon types. Let's say you have a 20mm and 30mm, maybe even 40mm cannons. You can add different types of dumbfire rockets. You can add different types of bombs. You can have 250 pound bombs, 500 pound bombs, 1,000 pound bombs. Maybe if you want to go down this route, 2,000 pound bombs. Maybe. And yeah, that's what's holding the air back. Honestly, I'm fine with the flat model, but I still feel like all in all they can do a lot. Like I said, I'm not someone who cares much about air radar. Like I've been playing War Thunder for like a long time. I'm used to like looking around for my enemies. So yeah. What else? What else is coming? Platoons is coming back. Also, they're gonna be working on that. That's something that should be in like every game from the start, along with the server browser. My honest opinion on that is I don't know why we keep having to fight the developers to keep things that should be core features in every game, only for them to market it as like content or a returning feature. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna give you all like the blunt truth. The only reason this is happening is because Battlefield is losing players and they messed up. And if it wasn't for this, if we still had like a high player count, I guarantee they wouldn't even be doing this. It's sad that this extreme has to happen, but you know what? Better late than never. Though I hope DICE learns from this and understands that every Battlefield game should come at launch with server browser, with platoons, with decent netcode. I understand no game is going to be solid at launch with a netcode, but I feel like it needs to be pretty like good at launch. And another thing that I do want to say that that needs to be in every game is just loadouts. You shouldn't be taking away features. You shouldn't be taking away customization or ways to play different things, because you're kind of ruining what makes Battlefield a good experience, fun experience. The good thing with Battlefield 6 is that it is a solid foundation to build upon. Everything feels good. Hit reg isn't that bad from what I've noticed. My shots have been hitting. I've been having a good time. And yeah. To end this part of the video, my feedback is it worth going back to? 100%. You can come back during Season 3 or anytime from here and now. Definitely worth checking out. Yeah, especially if you haven't played since like Season 1 or mid-Season 2. Definitely it's worth checking out. I got to experience on my return both maps, which are pretty cool. And yeah, so I can go on about like map rotations and stuff, but I don't want to drag this out too long. Gonna move into some community topics. So a lot of people have been talking about TTK, and it's something that I am kind of annoyed with, because this is a conversation we've had in 2022, and it is something that I don't want DICE to change. I hate that in every game, it happened in Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 was the worst. Battlefield 2042, and I don't want them to do it in this game. Essentially what happens is people complain too much that the TTK is too fast. They say it feels too Call of Duty, say it feels this or it feels that. Dude, Call of Duty and Battlefield are arcade games. They're not mil sims. And even in mil sims, the TTK is like even faster. Changing to TTK isn't going to make it more fun. It's going to make it more annoying, because what's going to happen is you're gonna take sort of an SMG and assault rifle, right? Let's say a really fast firing gun. It's gonna take you half a mag to kill someone. They're gonna feel like bullet sponges. It's not gonna be a good feeling for anyone. This is an issue that I feel like has been resolved in 2042, because a Gunplay in 2042 it improved, because we had the same issue at launch where people were complaining the weapons were too beamy. Well, you know what they did? They added a system similar to Battlefield 4 where your first X amount of bullets were on target. Then as you held the trigger down, you would get an increase of bloom. You don't need to change the TTK. Having that on top of adding limb modifiers would be a good way to mitigate that. That and the netcode, because oftentimes if you're around the corner you feel like you died in one shot or whatever. While it has improved a bit, that does still happen. It'll help kind of mitigate that. It'll reward skill for tap firing. It'll reward, it will make guns feel good. And another thing too, like the reason we always have this issue, and I'm not gonna lie, it's the freaking gunsmith system that they have. I'm not against it, I like it, I do genuinely like it. You can modify a gun to play however you want it to play, and it's super cool because you give the weapons personality. But the thing is, no matter how many times they add bloom, no matter how many times they add recoil, no matter how many times they do change the gunplay up, you're always going to want to find the quote-unquote meta loadout that is optimal for mitigating bullet spread and for mitigating recoil. We're always going to have this issue. Changing GTK isn't going to change shit. What they need to do, and this is something Call of Duty's done, from what I remember back in Modern Warfare 3, is what they need to do is not only do like what I said, like have a similar firing system to Battlefield 2042 and Battlefield 4, where your first shots are your first X amount of shots, let's say like 5 or 6 shots, are like on target, but then as you hold the trigger down, bloom increases, or dispersion, or however you want to say it. I feel like that combined with limb modifiers would help TTK. And another thing that would help out too, because this game does the same thing that freaking Modern Warfare does, Modern Warfare 3 and everything. You have a shit ton of the same attachments that increase numerical values at different things, and they all provide like a different negative thing. What if that makes sense? Like there's like, let's say you have like 4 muzzle brakes. Obviously they improve what I say. Let's say muzzle brakes, right? Let's say it improves recoil stabilization. You have a muzzle brake that slightly increases recoil stabilization, moderately increases recoil stabilization, greatly increases recoil stabilization, significantly increases recoil stabilization, and they all have different negative connotations. One, we need to be able to see the numerical value of that, and two, the negative connotations should be similar across the board. So let's say, and I'm going to use this sort of like a Battlefield 4 reference. Let's say you have a muzzle brake that increases recoil stabilization. The negative connotation to that should be that it increases weapon spread according to whatever numerical value it has. So let's say the first one, it's just slightly increases it. That has no negative connotation to it. Say it moderately increases it. So let's say the slightly increases one. Let's say it's at 5%, right? Then it goes up to 10% with a 5% increase in in weapon dispersion while moving. And then 15% with let's say 10%. Let's say you go 25% with 15%, so on and so forth, right? You can do stuff like that. What they need to do to help keep weapons within their engagement range is they need to balance out attachments. They need to look at what's the meta loadout that everyone's running for each specific gun and tweak the numbers a bit. So we need to see the numerical values of the attachments alongside the negative connotations. Don't be like, oh, this significantly increases this while moderately penetrating. No, we need to see actual numerical values. That would help out so we have an understanding of what's going on. And I think that tweaking certain attachments that are predominant on certain weapons, on top of, like I said, that gun system from, let's say, like 2042 and Battlefield 4, with the limb modifiers, would definitely help out in the TTK changes. You don't have to change the TTK. If you're accurate enough and you shoot someone 4 or 5 times in the chest, they need to drop. And obviously reward headshots, so that would be a higher TTK change. And yeah, it's the only way I see them fixing this with the gunplay still feeling really good. And that's pretty much what I gotta say on that, honestly. I don't get why it's so hard. And honestly, the community confuses me because, like, if guns be too beamy, they complain that it's becoming like COD. But then if they start adding a lot of bloom or a lot of dispersion, which is how guns are in real life, they get mad because they say the bullets aren't going anywhere. They start blaming the netcode and a bunch of other stuff. It is not a good feeling because y'all don't know what you want. So I feel like this system that has been around in Battlefield 4, that was around in 2042 towards the end, would be 100% a good change. I think it's something that needs to stick around with every Battlefield because it incentivizes tap firing. It gives guns their own personality on top of customization, and it's a good way to manage engagement distances for certain weapons. You know, you shouldn't be punished because you pick a fast firing gun. You shouldn't have to, because if you increase the TTK, what's gonna happen is, like I said, let's say you're gonna take the vector in this game. I forget what it's called. You're gonna light someone up. You're gonna spend like half your mag dumping in them just to get a kill, and only to get like dumped with the next fight because you have like half your bullets. It's not gonna be a good feeling. I know they're trying to mess around. They're trying to test things in labs with fire rates. I don't think that's gonna help. Like I said, the issue is just a gunsmith system. There's always gonna be a way to mitigate whatever changes you make. So adding the system that I suggested from like Battlefield 4 and 2042, and managing the attachments and showing the numerical values are going to be a good way to help with balancing. You know, what else? And that's pretty much what I can say on that. I know that TTK has been a huge talking issue. I want to give my feedback on that. And my final message to DICE before I end this off is, if you make it this far, if you're a developer from DICE, hopeful thinking, I doubt that's going to happen. Please, for the love of God, man. I've been covering Battlefield since Battlefield 4. I mean, I've been playing it just for fun back then, but like now I started taking it seriously since 2042. YouTube, I mean. And my advice, as someone who's very passionate about the game, is please stop taking away features that should be in every game. The community shouldn't have to fight you for things that they feel would improve the game. Am I someone who's for a server browser? No, I don't really care. You're gonna have official servers. Make it to where there's no disbanding lobbies. That's always been a bad thing. I don't get why y'all did that. Persistent lobbies should stay. Team battleship should stay. Platoon should be a core feature with its own like system. Progression needs to be good. Yeah, man, stop. It seems like with every game there's a step backwards. Please stop taking away features that make a game good. However you end Battlefield 6, you take the positive features of this game, implement it to the next Battlefield game, and add to it. And if you wanna, what's the word? Be innovative. Do something to build on top of that. The gunplay system should be similar from like, let's say like, I don't want to say like Battlefield 4 because a lot of people like ride Battlefield 4's dick a lot and it's super annoying. But it needs to be something similar to like how it was in Battlefield 4 or 2042. We've already set up this discussion with like whole gunplay and the bloom and stuff, which we understand why there's bloom and why there needs to be that. And my honest opinion, stop trying to cater the game to casuals. Stop trying to compete with games that are very different from what Battlefield is. You know, stop chasing trends. Sorry, words are becoming harder. Stop chasing trends and stick to what makes Battlefield amazing. Add more map variety, add more biomes, have solid systems for customizations for vehicles and air, and yeah, man, it shouldn't be that difficult. All you gotta do, and I know y'all do it, y'all gotta be better at listening to the community. I know y'all are trying, and I know y'all have a good history of doing that, but man, with having the launch that we had to what the player numbers are now, being honest, you all really dropped the ball. And that's sad to see, because this game, while it still has the potential, and I know we're going to see some sort of resurgence come Season 3, maybe going into Year 2 of the live service, you all need to do better. Y'all got to do better. This game is capable of being so much better than what it is. You just need to stop chasing trends. Stop doing whatever is doing well. Stop the extraction shooters. Stop the battle royales. That genre is dying. And just stick to what makes Battlefield. It's a good game. It can be even great. You all just need to stop taking 3 steps backwards every time there's a new game. And that's pretty much what I gotta say. With that being said, if you all made it this far in the video, feel free to leave a like. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think of Battlefield. Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree with what I said? And if you're someone who's considering picking up Battlefield again, I think right now is a good time. You get to experience all of Season 2. You have a lot of challenges to work towards, and it's definitely a fun experience. Anyways, with that being said, hope you all enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, feel free to leave a like, comment, and especially if you made it this far to the end, consider subscribing. I will be back when I have more footage, more stuff to talk about, but for now, get to y'all when I get to you. And yeah, have a good night or good afternoon. Love y'all. Peace.